There's a truth that no one tells you. The market doesn't take money from fools. It takes money from those who are confident they understand it. The first day I stepped into the market, I thought being smart was enough. Just read a few books, learn a few strategies, catch the right buy zone, and I'd be rich. But then, within a week, my account almost evaporated. That feeling wasn't about losing money, but losing faith. I sat staring at the screen, everything glowing red. My heart raced, my hands trembled, my mind went blank. And at that very moment, I realized something. I didn't lose because of the market. I lost because of the person inside me, because of greed, because of fear, because I wanted to prove I was good. The market is like a mirror. It reflects the rawest version of who you are. No filters, no pretending, no hiding. And if you're not ready to look at it, it will crush you with the truth you're too afraid to face. From that day on, I understood. Real investing doesn't start with choosing coins or stocks. It starts with choosing yourself again. Before you learn to read charts, learn to read your own emotions. Before you invest in the market, invest in yourself. Because that's the only investment that never loses. Welcome to Day Trader, where we expose the raw truth behind the waves of the financial market. Here, we don't just talk about profits and losses, we dissect the psychology, mindset, and mental toughness of a real trader. Part 1. The first slap from the market. I still remember vividly the feeling of the first day I stepped into the market. Everything back then felt like a new world opening up before my eyes. Numbers jumping nonstop, charts running endlessly. The ping sound of matched orders echoing like a hypnotic melody. I sat there staring at the flashing red and green screen, my heart racing, hand moving the mouse, with only one thought in my head: this is my chance to change my life. I felt different. I had read a lot, watched countless videos, listened to dozens of experts talk about how to catch trends, how to buy the bottom, sell the top. And at that moment, I believed I understood. Believed that I was smart enough to win. Believed that with just a few clever trades, I could escape the cycle of salary, expenses, savings that everyone was trapped in. I remember the first order I placed. My heart trembled. My palms were sweaty. The price moved in the right direction. My account went up a few percent. I smiled, my heart pounding. It felt like I had just hacked the system. I thought to myself, that's it. Why does everyone say the market is hard? Then I continued. The second time, the third time, each trade bigger than the last. I started feeling confident. I stopped reading as much. I stopped analyzing carefully. I thought I already understood. And right at that moment, the market began to teach me my first lesson. Within just 1 week, almost all the money I had was gone. The red numbers covered the screen. My heart went cold. Every minute that passed was a stab straight into my pride. I sat there silently, watching my account fall like a waterfall, and there was only one question left in my head. Why? I wasn't stupid. I wasn't lacking knowledge, but I underestimated the most powerful force in this market: myself. Greed, fear, blind confidence, all combined into a storm that swallowed me whole. I thought I was investing, but in reality, I was just gambling with emotions. I thought I was controlling risk, but in reality, risk was controlling me. And in that moment, I realized what no one had ever taught me before entering the market. The market doesn't take money from fools. It only takes money from those confident they can't be fools. That was the first slap. A slap so painful, I'll never forget it. It woke me up, silenced me, and forced me to look back at who I really was. And from that moment on, I began to understand. Before earning money in the market, I had to learn how not to lose it to myself. Part 2, the costly lesson. The market is a mirror of yourself. After the first crash, I didn't open the app for weeks. Every time I did, my heart ached. Not because of the numbers, but because of the memories. The memories of someone who once thought he understood only to be strangled by that very belief. And in that silence, I began to realize one thing. The market is never wrong. Only I am. Every time I lost, it wasn't because the market tricked me, but because I didn't understand myself. I didn't know why I entered a trade. I didn't know which emotion was controlling my hand. I thought I had reasons, but I was only finding excuses to justify my emotions. The market doesn't kill anyone. Emotions are the knife, and my own hand holds the handle. I started to stop. No trading, no investing, just reading. Reading books on trading psychology, reading about discipline, patience, and how great traders survived through decades of volatility. I read like a thirsty man, as if every page was a glass of water in the desert. Because for the first time in my life, I realized what made me lose wasn't a lack of knowledge. It was a lack of foundation within myself. I began to write down every emotion after each trial trade. Why did I enter? Why did I exit too soon? Why couldn't I hold? Why was I afraid, even when everything went the right way? I wrote it all down, didn't skip a single emotion. And the more I wrote, the clearer I saw. The person I needed to analyze wasn't the chart, it was me. I realized that investing in myself was the most profitable trade. It doesn't yield returns immediately. There's no chart, no signal, but it compounds quietly, like the compound interest of life. A trader might lose money today, but if he knows why, if he learns something about himself, then he hasn't truly lost. He's just trading money for experience. And that experience, when deep enough, rich enough, turns into wisdom. Something no one can ever steal, and the only thing that can help you earn it all back. The market doesn't pay the fastest. It pays those who know how to slow down, to observe, to listen to themselves. And once you begin to understand your own mind, every wave out there becomes just a challenge, no longer a fear. Part 3. When I started investing the other way, from the inside out. After a long time of observing and writing down my emotions, I realized something important. For all those years, I had been trying to be better than others instead of understanding myself. I chased charts, indicators, and news, but I had never truly stopped to look at what was controlling all my actions, my own mind. So I started to change. For the first time in years, I decided to invest in myself before investing in the market. First was health. I gave up the habit of staying up late watching charts, quit midnight coffee, and stopped living in constant exhaustion. I started sleeping on time, waking up early, breathing deeply, eating clean, and exercising regularly. It sounds simple, but only when the body is strong can the mind stay clear. Because no trader can stay rational when their brain is sleep-deprived and their heart races from caffeine. Then came wisdom. I read about behavioral finance, crowd psychology, and how humans react to risk. I studied the psychological cycles of the market, how greed expands, and how fear devours everything. I stopped searching for a holy strategy. I just wanted to understand why people keep repeating the same mistakes. I learned to meditate, just sitting still. No charts, no price checks, just observing my breath. At first, it felt meaningless. But then I realized what I was training was stillness, something no great trader lacks. Because in the middle of huge waves, only the still can see the direction of the water. Little by little, something strange happened. The market stayed the same, still red, still green, still unpredictable. But my results changed completely. I no longer feared when prices fell. I no longer got excited when they rose, because I knew it's not about what the price does, it's about what I do when the price changes. I no longer let emotions guide my hands. I could watch the market crash and remain calm. I could stand aside while everyone else shouted to buy. And that was when I started making money. Not much, but steady, consistent, and peaceful. I understood then, true profit doesn't come from the market, it comes from within. Whenever my mind is calm, I trade less, but more precisely. Whenever I keep my stillness, opportunities naturally appear. One day, you'll understand what I understand now. Investing in yourself isn't just an inspirational quote, it's the only survival strategy in a world where greed is traded every second. Part 4. The lesson after 7 years. The truth no one tells you. 7 years is long enough for a person to experience every emotion a trader can feel. I've seen all kinds of people, those who got rich as fast as a gust of wind, those who disappeared after a few crashes, and those who quietly stayed, learning, losing, then standing back up again. The market is a brutal world, but perfectly fair. It doesn't care who you are or how smart you think you are. It only reflects who you truly are. And after all these years, I've realized something no book teaches, and no one tells you directly. Every success in the market begins with personal growth. I once thought strategy was everything, that having the right tools, the right indicators would guarantee victory. But no, I've seen too many people with flawless trading systems fall apart at the first sign of volatility. And I've seen people with no fancy indicators, just a calm mind and steady heart, survive every market cycle. The disciplined will always beat the strategic. Those who understand themselves will always beat those who only understand charts. And those with the right mindset will always beat those with the best tools. You can copy someone's trading system, but you can't copy the psychology they've forged through blood and tears. You can learn how others make money, but you can't learn how they overcome fear when the market turns against them. The market isn't a place to make money. It's a place to test your character. It strips away your layers: patience, greed, fear, blame, and even the ego you thought was unbreakable. And if you can overcome all of that, you don't just win in trading, you win in life. Someone once asked me, "Why don't you open a course or sell signals?" I just smiled. Because if someone hasn't invested in themselves yet, even if you hand them a 100% winning formula, they'll still lose. They'll break it with their own emotions: fear, doubt, impatience. But if they're calm enough, aware enough, mature enough, they won't need anyone to teach them. They'll find their own way to win. They'll know when to enter, when to stop, when to stay silent. And when they lose, they won't blame the market. They'll simply ask themselves, "What did I learn from this?" That's how true survivors think. 7 years didn't teach me how to win fast. It only taught me how not to die early. And that is the most valuable lesson the market has ever given me. The last thing I want to share. One day you'll realize that everything outside is just the surface. Price, charts, signals, coins, stocks, they're all just waves. But you are the ocean. If the ocean is deep enough, the waves can't shake you. If your mind is steady enough, money will naturally find its way to you. Invest in yourself before investing in the market. Read, learn, fail, awaken, grow. Because when you change, your account will change too. The market doesn't need you to win, but your life needs you to understand that. And if this story touches you even a little, leave a like, a comment, so I know you're on the same journey. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with those who are lost in the market. Who knows? Maybe that's how you plant a seed of awareness in someone else. And if you've ever lost money, felt hopeless, or doubted yourself, remember, you're not alone. Every trader has been through it. What matters is you choose to continue, and you choose to invest in yourself, starting today.